So basically, these are the objectives of the session that I presume that I'll have it with you. We'll discuss about what is leadership. Then we'll go about how this was evolved, leading on to transformative leadership, and the components and the principles of transformative leadership. So we start with the caselet, and I request you to be interactive. You can just you put your mics on and can speak about this. So I would just like to know from you: are the leaders born or are they made? Any viewpoint on this? Leaders पैदा होते हैं, leader होते हैं, या वो बनते हैं leader? Are they born or are they made? So you can speak in English also, in Hindi also. Language is not a problem. All right. So I'll request maybe one of you to start, and then we can move forward. So request you to be interactive, because then only we'll enjoy it. Because I think the negative part of online courses that generally it is very difficult for both the especially for the faculty member, because I feel if things will not come from you, it will be just like talking to a wall. तो मैं आपसे ये रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ कि you just can put your mics on and you can give your views, and then whatever caselets we'll have, you will get your answers while we go ahead with the course.
Yes.
So are they either born or are they made? Any
Yes.
comment?
Good
If
afternoon.
nothing is wrong.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good
So I'm
afternoon.
Damodaran from management. So normally
Ji.
leaders are inborn qualities, sir. We can say
In-
it's a inborn quality. The situations create him to become a leader. Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right. So he says they may have qualities which are inborn. Born, Sirsa Center also says they are born. But they said there are certain situations wherein they make them a leader. Anyone else on this? You can put your mic on. Maybe we can have one or two more opinions on suggestions and your viewpoints on this. Yes? Yes, please. GITM Lucknow. Yes, please. Leaders are born or they are made?
So leaders are not born; they are
Okay,
made by circumstances.
they are made. Okay, so this is your viewpoint that leaders are made, because earlier we had two viewpoints that leaders have inborn qualities and they are born. Okay, but you say differently that leaders are made. Okay, anyone else? Nice, thank you. GITM Lucknow.
Sir,
Yes, please.
JDC Sirsa have written born.
Yes, they have also written born. Because
Anybody
first,
else? Kindly come forward.
yeah. Anyone else, please? You can just introduce yourself and then you can give your viewpoint. And nothing is right or
I'm
wrong.
Dr. Nitin Kumar
Whatever.
from Punjab Engineering College. I
Yes,
feel
yes.
that
Ji.
can have born leaders can have qualities by birth also. These may be inculcated if they are trained properly. Both ways it is possible.
Okay, so you say that it is a mix. They can have inborn qualities also, and they can be taught also. Is it so? Okay, thank you, Dr. Nathan. Okay, so nice. So we'll get the answers when we go across it. Now my second question to you is that is it necessary that a leader in one situation will always be a leader in under all circumstances, or a leader in one situation may not be a
No,
leader in the other?
no,
No, sir.
Okay.
no.
Okay, so you were saying no. Sirsa is also saying no. That in a leader in one situation may or may not be a leader in the second situation. Let's say, for example, you are traveling from, supposing, Chandigarh to Delhi in a Shatabdi train, and the formal leader, let's say a formal designated leader, like let's say a CM or the Chief Minister of Punjab, is also traveling from uh, in Shatabdi from Chandigarh to Delhi, and one of the passengers wherein he is traveling, he has an health issue. Okay, IMT Saranpur is also saying no, he is an health issue. So now, what do you think? Who will be the leader in this case? in the bogie that they are traveling, one of the passenger has an health issue. Whether it will be the formal leader, the chief minister, or with him you have the chief secretary also, then he is also a formal leader, or the DGP of police also is traveling with him, or maybe there is a chemist or a pharmacist traveling in the same train, in the same bogie. Now, who will take the leadership role in this situation when one of the passenger has a health issue? Any one of you can switch on and then can speak out.
Definitely, in that case, might be the pharmacist or the doctor available could be could take up the leadership role.
Okay, so you're saying the pharmacist or the chemist will take up the leadership role, or the chief minister?
The chief minister, we should not say like chief minister would be the right point of at that point of time, right leader would be there. He could be a leader to arrange other people, but yes, still the pharmacist, if the pharmacist takes up the leadership role, he will be the most ideal candidate at that point of time.
Okay, nice. Anyone else?
Hello, sir. It's
Yes.
Dr. Damodaran.
Yes,
I
Dr.
think, sir, TTR and train drivers, they are leadership to convey that person to be a hospitalized. That is the person. No CM, no DGP, or no any government servants. They are not leading. So the TTR have the whole authority of this train. They have to the leading authority here.
Okay, so
Thank
he
you,
brings in new players. Like, no, my question was that there's a health issue with one of the passengers, and
Yes, sir.
the chief minister is also there in the train, who's a former leader. And apart from that, somebody related, somebody from the
Sir, yes, sir. That leader is not is a leader to the state or the government,
yes,
but that is the thing. Who is the conducting this? What the role in the
okay,
train? That is the
okay.
TTR is the leadership. There is
No,
a whole control. That is the
yes,
first thing,
that's fine. But
deciding factor.
no, if some
Even
emergency,
even prime minister, even they are traveling in flight also.
okay,
Emergency situation, they have to land. Pilot is the whole authority. Chief pilot has the whole authority
fine.
to the
Yes,
things. Even this prime minister or prime minister of US, they cannot make a rule
right.
there because
Okay,
even there are emergency situation for the prime minister also. If
okay,
any passenger having a heart problem, any ladies have a delivery issues, they have to immediately stop at the nearest airport. This is the 100% leadership of the pilot, no
right,
leadership of this political wing or
right. Thank
government. Right.
All right, got it. Yes, Shivangi ma'am, you want to say something?
Sir, I believe
Yeah.
that it depends on one's trait,
Hmm.
like from which trait we are coming. It is not definite that yes, the leader in one situation will act as a leader under all the circumstances. However, it depends upon one on one situation and trait as well. For
Okay.
example, like my no controversy to any political party. However, what we can see is the fact that BJP is acting as a super leader in every particular situation, may it be in the case of employment, may it be in the case of any, religious activity, may it be in the case of any international affair, any border security force, anything. However,
Right.
whenever it comes to the Congress party, they when it comes to their own needs, they are very active, and when it not, it's okay. So again, I'm quoting that I'm not doing any partiality or no comments to any political party. However, yes, what is being fact is being observed by everybody. Like if
Right.
we are proactive and we are universally active, so it
Hmm.
is in our trait. And
Right.
if we are the जहाँ पे मेरा interest है वहाँ पे only I'm active, and otherwise कि मुझे क्या लेना है. For
Hmm.
example, we can also see this in for like suppose कि कोई roadside accident हो जाता है, people are
Hmm.
passing away.
Right.
They generally feel that why to get bothered, जो है वो अपना है, वो झेलेगा, वो करेगा. But this
Hmm.
should not be the human trait. Before being anything, we are at least human being.
Right.
हम
Very
भी
right.
कभी उस सिचुएशन में हो सकते हैं. सो व्हाट इफ कि हमें कोई देख करके ऐसे छोड़ के चला जाए कि यू डाई ऑन योर ओन सिचुएशन. सो दिस इज नॉट द ह्यूमन बीइंग.
Right. I agree.
So
All right.
this is
Right.
what I just want to add on.
Very true. Very true. Thank you. Thank you. We move on to the next. Now, let me tell me whether who is a leader. One who has more number of followers, or one who creates more leaders. Whom do you think is a leader? Whom do you think is a leader?
So
And
one who create more leaders.
okay. All right. Right. Good. Anyone else?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So
Yes.
leaders should be create, not leaders. Successor is very important.
Successors. Okay.
Yes,
Nice.
leaders would create successor.
All right.
That
Wonderful.
is,
Leaders, in our view, leaders would be the leader who can create more leaders, because
Okay.
any situation of life, one, as we were discussing 2 minutes back, that one leader cannot be a leader for all situations. But if a leader creates multiple leaders, definitely that thing can be easily filled up. One leader who is handling one thing, another leader can handle another thing. So in that case, we will need more leaders, those who can think alike.
Okay. So generally you're saying that leaders are those who create more leaders. But let's say, we have in India, you would have seen that there are informal leaders also. You do not have the formal positions. But let's say as a pracharak or as a baba or as a guru, he may have a following of maybe 1 crore people, 2 crores, 3 crores. We have people from Sirsa also here. So you know that you had one guru who had more than 2 crore followers. So he is a bigger leader or somebody who has maybe 1 lakh followers.
Bigger leader doesn't becomes from the number of followers. Because
Okay.
most of the time we have seen in the past that leaders
Ye-
are identified later on, that they were
Right.
leaders. They were actually the change makers, and this
Okay.
could have been identified later on in the life.
Okay. Okay. So you would say that the number of followers may not depend upon the number of followers how great a leader one is. That's true. Okay. So we'll move next. Now, what is leadership? What do you think is leadership? What do you think is leadership? Who's a leader? Whom do you think is a leader?
So who the person who drag the public attention over the desired goal or feasible goal.
Okay. So somebody basically, somebody who can influence others, somebody who can, you say that whom the others think that they are leader. But then again, this will bring in the case of followers also, like we were discussing in the last slide, that if there are leaders, then there are people
so
who follow the leader, or maybe, as you said, attract means, there is some kind of a charisma with the leader whom the followers think that, okay, he has some charisma, he has some
so
capabilities. Yes,
leadership means teamwork, sir.
teamwork. Okay.
Single word we can say, like cricket,
Hmm.
football,
Hmm.
even captainship is there, but
Yes.
captain may be a defender or midfielder or a backer goalkeeper, but
Right.
there are different roles is there. Okay,
Right. Hmm.
leadership cannot make any lot of roles. He can have
Right.
a goalkeeper means only goalkeeper, forward means forward only. Leadership
Right.
having only one qualities, they are saving multiple qualities. They are expert in qualities, but they are organized as a teamwork to finish the goal. Cricket, any team, basketballs, from we can learn. So thank you.
Right. So you're saying that, leadership is all about team, building up a team and then, carrying the team forward to achieve the
Yes,
common
goals.
goal or the common objectives. Very nice. This is
Yes.
a good view that you've taken. Yes. Anybody else, please? What do you think is leadership and who's a great leader? Whom do you think is a leader? Anyone else? Otherwise, it's in front of you. Leader is one who empowers others, who inspires others, who can, provide a vision, and this vision is shared among us all, and who can lead the change. If you just type the word leadership on Google, you will see that the material that you get, that maybe this material you cannot study in hundreds of years also. The kind of material that is available on leadership. Only on one Google search, that is one search engine, that is Google. And whatever, and if you search the entire internet, so much material is available. But one thing which is common, in all the when we talk about leadership is the influence, because otherwise when we talk about leadership, then you will have so many things like initial slide also. If you go by, I have talked about leadership, about inspiring, about empowering, about changing, and about the vision also. But you will not find many things which common, but one thing which is common when we talk about leadership is the influence. Why would somebody follow somebody? Why would somebody follow somebody? Why would somebody consider somebody to be a leader? And therein the one thing is the influence. Okay. So now my question to you is, like I said earlier, whether the leaders are born or they are made. So herein, there are two viewpoints. Initial viewpoint was that leaders are born. When we talk about the traditional viewpoints, it was only, and this was not the Indian context. This was the context, the world view. Throughout the world, this context was taken, wherein it was felt that leaders are born, and this or the elder son of a king used to be the king. Why the elder son of a a minister or a mantri used to be a mantri? Why the elder son of a warrior used to be a warrior? Why the son of a farmer used to be a farmer? Why the son of a businessman used to be a businessman? So the traditional thought was that leaders are born, and it is only in their blood that leaders are that the leadership is have. So that is why they did not want the leadership role to be given to somebody else, because they thought that it is the son of the king who can become a good king. The son of a warrior can become a good warrior. The son of a senapati can become a good senapati. Then the son of a good advisor or a pandit can become a good pandit. So that was the traditional thought. However, when the modern philosophy came, when the modern management view came about, thereafter, it was thought that, that is not the case. That leaders do not run into the blood. It is not in the genes. Of course, there are some part in the genes also, but leadership can be taught. Leadership can be, people can be educated to be a leader. People can be taught to be a leader. People can be given training to be a leader. So this viewpoint came around that, of course, genes play an important part. But it is not only the genes which will be covering. Like if we follow the same condition, and if you follow worldwide, you would see that the daughter of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became the prime minister, and thereafter her son became the prime minister. But thereafter, you had different people who were becoming the prime minister. Similarly, you can take the case of worldwide, John F. Kennedy, and similarly you can take the case of many other countries, wherein one after the other family members, they become the leaders. Take the case of Nepal, take the case of Bhutan, take the case of even certain South African countries, and you would find that that they have been able to do well. And rather, in modern times also, they were not given the mental just by way of an legal hire or an ascendancy, but they donned the role because public liked them in a democracy. So whether Mrs. Indira Gandhi, she became the prime minister, it was not only because she was handed over the prime ministership. No. Similarly, the case of Rajiv Gandhi also, in a democracy, they were chosen, they were elected. But the modern philosophy, as I said, that whether this brings on to the discussion that whether leadership or management is a science or an art. So leadership can be considered to be both science and an art, because why it is an art? Because it has to go do with practice. That is why it is an art. There are certain things which you will do, and with continuously doing it over a period of time, you will sharpen those skills. So that is what leadership. And therein the role of genes are also important. And how it is a science? Because there are certain things which can be learned. So which you can be taught in the classroom, which can be taught in the practical sphere, and which can be taught in the classroom, which can go from learning from one teacher to the student. So that is why we can say that leaders can be they can have genetic qualities, they can have something in the genes or the blood, but they can be taught to be a leader. So that explains why in today's time the son of a chai wala can become a leader, the son of a rickshaw puller can become a cricketer and doing very well. You will not find Sachin Tendulkar's son to be included even in the Mumbai Ranji team, whereas his father is considered to be the god of cricket. Similarly, you can see otherwise also. The son or daughter of Sunil Gavaskar or Kapil Dev, they have not done well. But Sunil Gavaskar's father or Kapil Dev's father or Sachin Tendulkar's father had nothing to do with cricket. Similarly, the parents of Narendra Damodar Das Modi had nothing to do with politics, or Amit Shah, or similarly the case of others. But of course, in certain families, it has traveled also. That is also true. Even today's time, you can find that Lalu Prasad Yadav, therefore now Tejasvi, or you can find that Akhilesh Yadav, or maybe Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi also. So both of them, it is true that leaders can be. There is something in the genes also which travels, and that is fine. But that is not only the necessary and the sufficient condition. Wherever you can have leadership traits and skills which can be sharpened in the classroom, and it can be learned and learned from the faculty members. Huh? Now, when we talk about various traits and leadership styles, you would see that what are the various what makes a leader a leader. एक leader बनता क्यों है? उसको why other persons think that he is a leader? What are the qualities that he should have that So herein also a lot of research went along. There was a lot of research going around, and different philosophers, they went on to carrying out research on the issue. And this is termed as in our sense, in management sense, this was termed as the charismatic leadership or traits theory of leadership. So many researchers, what they did, they followed some leader, they studied some leader, researched some leader, and found out that what are the qualities that made him a leader. So then they found out, let's say, for example, do you all of you believe that Mahatma Gandhi was a great leader? One of you can just switch on and can give, and others may just write on the chat, yes or no. Mahatma Gandhi was a great leader. Yes or no? You can just put your views in the chat box.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course.
You believe that Mahatma Gandhi was a great leader?
Yes, sir.
Yes. One moment. Okay. So what are the qualities that made Mahatma Gandhi a great leader? Can you write? Maybe any one of you can switch on and can provide his qualities that made him a leader?
सर वो लोगों को इकट्ठा कर सकते थे, इकट्ठा कर लेते थे लोगों को, उनके जो उनको सुनने के लोग आते थे वो लोग इकट्ठा कर सकते थे उनके पास.
So that means what he wants to say is that he took people along and he was a mass leader.
Yes,
He had a great following amongst the people. Okay, so that's a great quality. What else? Out of the qualities that I've listed, do you find any or all of the qualities in Mahatma Gandhi? Like the qualities I've listed on my PPT slide, the slide that is running just now. Do you find that Mahatma Gandhi had any or all of these qualities? Whether it was energy level and stress tolerance or self-confidence, internal control, emotional maturity or integrity. Which qualities did you find in Mahatma Gandhi? Out of all these 5 qualities? Because these are the 5 qualities of a leader, which were common. Anyone? You can just switch on your phone and can speak about equality, public speaking, emotional intelligence, self-confidence. Okay. Do you find these in Mahatma Gandhi?
Sir,
Yes.
Shivangi ma'am has written all. One
Okay.
of them has written motivation,
Hanji.
GITM Lucknow, public speaking, higher level, EI level, self-confidence.
Okay. Okay. So Shivangi has written all of them. And any other quality apart from this that I have written? Did you find in Mahatma Gandhi? Okay. So do you think that even Adolf Hitler was a leader? Any one of you, do you think he was a yes? Shivangi says yes. So what qualities did you find they were there in Adolf Hitler? Which were the qualities that were there in Adolf Hitler?
Sir, he was a leader, but the style which he was following was an autocratic style, which was not good.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
What
he used to dominate people. He used to be very, very autocratic. He doesn't take others' decision. He just imposes his decisions on others, whether they like or they don't like. Others have to follow. So this was a kind of dictatorship,
Okay.
irrespective of empathy and teamwork and collaboration. He just imposes that whatever I'm saying is right and rest others are wrong.
Okay.
Indeed, he was a leader, but the way he was treating was not good. This is what I feel.
Okay. Right. So anyone else, what Shivangi says? Does people agree with Shivangi ma'am that Adolf Hitler was a leader? Yes, please.
May I, sir?
Yes, please.
Ma'am told that he was not very much true in this thing because Mahatma Gandhi was very much tolerant. He was self-determined,
Hmm.
full of patience, and other so many qualities are there.
Okay.
I,
And what about Adolf Hitler?
Adolf Hitler is a not patienceless, but बिल्कुल उसमें कॉन्फिडेंस मतलब एक्सट्रीम लेवल तक था कि वो कुछ भी कर सकता था. उसको ये राइट एंड रॉन्ग की जो बिल्कुल थिन लेयर होती है उसको वो क्रॉस कर जाता था.
Yes. So yes, very right. Thank you so much. Thank you for putting your points forward. And Dr. Nandkumar was also written autocratic and democratic. Very good. So this theory, when we talk about the traits theory of leadership, when it studied various leaders, they found out that you cannot have certain traits which were common in all the leaders, because some people said that they should have good communication skills, and you will find them in one leader, but you will not find them in another. Well, let's say, to talk about Mahatma Gandhi, he was not a great orator. And somebody said that he should have great personality. Mahatma Gandhi did not have great personality. He did not even wear any clothes. So the kind of when there is a misnomer in one of the theories fail, even if you have one point which goes against. So that is why this traits theory of leadership does not hold good. And even in when we talk about Adolf Hitler, he had number of good qualities, but as rightly one of you said that he went into the wrong direction. Even in today's time, you will find that Osama bin Laden is also a leader, because there are there is a cult wherein people follow him, and Barack Obama is also a leader because there is a cult wherein people follow him. Narendra Damodar Modi is also a leader, but the kind of direction we can say which is right or wrong and which is good or bad, so the trait theory of leadership could not explain this, because there was no common traits which were found in all leaders. Similarly, you can take the case of Winston Churchill also at that point of time. So Mahatma Gandhi, Winston Churchill, and Adolf Hitler, they all of them were at the same time. But you will not find anything in common. Winston Churchill was a chain smoker. He used to have liquor even in the daytime, and he was a womanizer. And Adolf Hitler was a teetotaler. He did not take even a drop of liquor, and he was not a womanizer at all. So if you without naming, if you ask anybody that who was better, Adolf Hitler or Winston Churchill, and you don't name, and there are two people, one is a smoker, chain smoker, a drunkard, and a womanizer, and other is a non-smoker, non-drinker, and man of, if we say this is initially we used to say that man of very high character. It was written in your character certificate also. Who's a high character? I mean, who does not delve into all these sexual part. So if you don't name, people will prefer Adolf Hitler and not Winston Churchill. But who was the winner and who was the better in terms of World War I and II? It was not Adolf Hitler, but it was Winston Churchill. So that is why this theory sort of does not hold good. So again, this is what I said. All these qualities are there in this is a pictographic form. So rightly said, GI team Lucknow. But at the end of the day, you had one leader wherein there were one quality, you had another leader wherein there is the other qualities, but nothing was common. So later on, various, when we talk about industrial leadership, there is a traditional management approach, there is a human relation approach, and you are very much aware that in the traditional management approach, you had people like Frederick Winslow Taylor or Luther Gulick and Ulrich or Henrik Frohl and all, who talked about a traditional management approach, wherein the leadership was more in the form of a supervision, and it was more in the form of a micro planning for the workers, so that the leaders do the entire research, and they fix up that how much work a worker has to do, and nothing was left to the chance to the lower level. And it was thought that the leadership is all about top down approach, that the supervisor decides what to be done, and then the worker has to do it. So this was in the traditional approach. But then there were the problems that workers, even if he's at a lower level, he will feel, because man is a man, he is not a machine. And man or woman included, they does not want to be dominated. They do not want to be that people should give him sermons. They do not want, they want to be listened, they want to be talked, they want to have freedom of doing things. But in traditional management approach, people like Frederick Winslow Taylor or Luther Gulli Kurvik, Henry Fayol and all, they what they did was they fixed everything for the worker. And they found that these lowly workers, they do not know anything, and then we have to do everything for them and they'll follow. But then there were revolts, there were strikes, and then people said that you have to treat, you're not dealing with machines, you are dealing with human beings. And so therefore came up around with human relation approach, wherein people like George Elton Mayo or Chris Bernard or Herzberg or Frederick Herzberg, they start talking about things like delegation. They start talking about only macro management and not micro management. They start talking about democratic style of leadership. They start talking about delegating things. They start talking about decentralization, wherein it is not only the top down approach, but it is the approach which was considered as bottoms up approach also. And it was also considered as wherein the workers also had a role to play. So this also came around. Any observation on this? Because you also come from industrial leadership, organization leadership. Your viewpoint on this, that in a college, does the principal know everything, and then everything has to be top down? Let's say if there is a meeting of 30 minutes, wherein 10 heads of departments and a principal or a director general of your college is there, or a vice chancellor is there, then each one of you is given time to speak about 3 minutes if there are 10 people and the meeting goes for 30 minutes. Any one of you can give your viewpoint? Each one of you, each one of the heads speaks about 3 minutes in a 30-minute meeting with the director or director general. Your views are heard and they are respected. How about a meeting wherein a director or director general calls you all for a meeting or a brainstorming session? Yes, please. Anyone? Anyone? If there's a meeting between a head and director general and all heads, who does most of the talking? सबसे ज्यादा कौन बात कर रहा होता है एक मीटिंग में, जो आपके हेड कर रहे होते हैं, प्रिंसिपल, डायरेक्टर, डायरेक्टर जनरल?
Participants.
Who does most of the talking? Is it the head, or it is the various team members? Principal. Okay, so he rightly said the principal. So this is actually when in a meeting, this is also one way, that the communication is one way. So this is also not a part of the human relations approach or the new approach of leadership. Rather, the head has to listen more and imbibe more, and then act accordingly. Policies have to be made. So this is one example. Who does most of the decision making? Head or the people who are actually dealing? So it is the head. So generally this goes against the principle of the true. So similarly, this is one thing. Who delegates, or whether you like it or not, you do not like it, whether your opinion is asked, or whether even if your opinion is listened to, whether it is respected. So all these things are there. Who does the entire work? Who calls the shots? So most it will be the head only. So these are the various leadership styles. Like one of you already talked about autocratic, wherein everything is top down. The communication is one way. The directions are from top to down. The message is again, communication is from top to down. the policy is made at the top, the work is done at the lower level. But you have other leadership styles also, like democratic. So wherein in a democratic, it is the other way around, wherein you are listened to, your words are respected, your voice is heard. It is not top down, but it is bottoms up. And you are made to speak, you are given work, you are given importance, you are given respect. Even if your style is not followed, or even words or suggestions are not followed, but you are not discouraged, or you are not made fun of. And in transactional style, now what is a transactional style of leadership? Anyone of you, if you know, or otherwise I'll tell. Anyone aware of transactional style? Transactional style is generally give and take, wherein generally it is the boss who is doing everything. But again, if he takes 4 decisions, maybe 2 decisions are left to you. If he takes 4 facilities, 2 are left to you. Transactional, give and take. Transactional means give and take. Then laissez-faire is one wherein nobody bothers who's doing it. Nobody is bothering. Everyone is doing one's own bit. So this is one state wherein either everyone is of a very high caliber, everyone is of a very high standard, that the boss does not have to worry what the others are doing. And transformational we'll discuss, because this is my topic for today. So this is again in the picture mode. So when we are talking about transactional leadership, Mr. James McGregor Burns brought about this concept, and then earlier this concept was given by Bernard Bass, who's an American psychologist. So when we say transformational leadership, transformational, what do you understand by transformational? Anything that comes to your mind when we say transformational? आपके माइंड में क्या आता है जब हम ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल बोलते हैं?
So changing from one situation to another.
Changing from one situation to another. Very good. Yes. What else? Anyone else? Anyone else? When we say transformational? Anyone else? So transformational means, who calls the shots, and who carries you from one state to the other, and then the state is irreversible. Generally, when we are talking about the traditional style of leadership, wherein it is based upon kind of fear, or based upon the kind of incentive. So anything that is based on fear, so if you remove the fear, it will again go back to the same state. And if anything is based on incentive, if you remove the incentive, then it will go on the it will go back. So let's say if I say that if the students are studying because the teacher is a strict, this means that if the teacher loses his strictness, or if the teacher is changed, then the students will go back to wherein considering that the point wherein there was no fear. Similarly, if somebody is doing something for incentive, now what happens if there is no incentive? So he goes back. But in a transformational style, the faculty or the head or the leader, he shows the direction, he guides, and then it is in between, it is the inspiration of the student or of the employee, that he takes this inspiration, and then he thinks about it, he contemplates it, and then he carries it out on his own. And so that the leadership vision of the leader, or the shared vision of the leader, becomes his vision, and then he takes his vision along. And then even if the leader is not there, it is not irreversible, it is not reversible, it will not come back to the point wherein the leader was not there, because the dream or the vision is now his dream or vision. It is not the dream of his father or his faculty or his coach or his guide, because then there is no chance of being reversible. So that is transformational. So what has been done is that the leader has actually transformed his subject, or his team member, or his follower, to a point to make him what he wants to become, what he wants to be, to bring him in the state of a self-actualization. So a leader who inspires his team members to become what they want to become. So it becomes a transformation. This is the new thing in leadership, wherein otherwise, whether it was a traditional leadership style, or it was a modern leadership style, everywhere it has to go with one thing, and that is the carrot and the stick. What is carrot and stick? That if he does a good work, give him some carrot, give him some incentive. But if he does a bad work, then give him a stick on his backside. So everything that means, I mean, you are engineers and heads and doctors today, but you would remember that, why we used to study, because we fear that even if we don't get good marks, our parents will penalize us, or our teachers will penalize us. That is the stick part. Or we say that parents will say that, okay, if you get good marks in 10th standard, what will you get? You will get a cycle. That was the common while I think we were youngsters, all of us. And today it may be motorcycle. So if you get good marks in 10th standard, what will you get? A cycle. And the student says, okay, Papa, but if I fail, then he says, then you will get a rickshaw. So a cycle is an incentive and a rickshaw is a disincentive, because then you are on your own. The parents say then you are on your own. The rickshaw चलाओ, पैसे कमाओ, फिर हमारे साथ कोई मतलब नहीं है आपका. So a carrot and a stick follows. But in a transformational leadership, it is not doing anything either for a carrot or for a stick. So you start. That is you would have seen that why people maybe they go for they write an UPSC examination, or maybe they travel upstairs and conquer the Himalayas. So that is the kind of inspiration which comes up, and of course this may come from the various quarters. Now, what does this picture denote? Any one of you? इस पिक्चर से हमको क्या समझ आ रहा है? Yes, please. What does this picture denote?
सर एक दूसरे का साथ दे के ही हम ऊपर चल सकते हैं, अपने आप को भी और अपने कोलीग्स को भी और अपने नीचे रहे वर्कर्स को भी.
बिल्कुल. So leadership is not like what we earlier said, who is a leader. Like I said, when we go into an official sort of a leader, wherein you have an official position of a leader, let's say a head of department, or you are a principal or director, and while you are going through your crossway or a LA, then yes, right. You would respect, and then other teacher is coming. You would expect that teacher will call you, wish you good morning, good evening, sir, or a faculty come, or a student coming will wish you good morning, sir, good evening, sir. That is not about leadership. Of course, the matter of respect is therein, but it is a team which takes place, and it is the team which does the entire work. And the team of a leader the work of a leader is also one of the work that the team has to perform. And the work of a peon, or work of a daftari, or work of a safai karamchari, or work of a faculty, work of a computer operator, they are all works that needs to be completed. And even if one does not do the work, then the entire work will not be undertaken or will not be completed. So therefore, when we say a transformational leadership, the good or the best part is that it is the teamwork wherein the leader shows the way, and the entire team goes with him, and then there is a hand holding, and the entire all of them will reach the top rather than maybe one or two of them. So who's now coming on to after this? Now what is transformative leadership? So a philosophy which inspires your employee or your team member to innovate and develop, to have innovative ways of doing things, to improve the path to a company's future success, and to carry the team's creativity, to increase or improve or harness the team's creativity so that the goals of organizations they are achieved. And you are independent. It is democratic also, that it is not micromanaging which is done. Of course, goals, objectives, priorities, they are fixed. Of course, everybody knows what is to achieve, but then there is no one way of achieving those goals. There is no one way of reaching the top or reaching the having your objectives. So you have independence to carry your decisions. Only thing is that the overall goal is clear, but the paths can be taken by the various respective team members so that they can reach the path. And if they have a problem, then it is the leader who helps, or the other team members who helps the other team members to achieve the organization goals. So there is innovation, there is creativity, there is harnessing of your potential, there is leading towards change, there is listening to you, it's democratic, and there is hand holding also. And the transformational leader will not, actually, he is not the one who will be thinking that इसने तो मेरे को wish नहीं किया, तो ये खराब है ना? Yes. or very true, Farhat, Mohsin VUCA word, yes. So he's that I am a leader, he should have wished me. No, rather he would think that, when I am a leader, this is a gentleman or a lady who has her own goals also, which should be compatible to the goals of the organization, which he or she wants to undertake, or wants to confirm, or wants to achieve while she is in the same organization. So both the goals of the organization and the goals of the individual have to be met, and the transformation leaders help them to achieve their individual goals also, and the end of the day organization goals also. So he is the one who will make the people aware about why this work is important, because till the time you know that why this work is important, why you should have this medicine, why you should write UPSC papers, why you should go for, let's say you are the principal, why your faculty members should research, why they should have industry interaction, why placement of students is important, why new admissions are important, why new infrastructure is important. So he should be very clear, rather than just ordering somebody that, okay, I want this number of placement for my students, or I want this number of admissions. You have to explain the word why this is important. And then the leader also makes them think, because everybody of us, we are selfish people, human beings, even animals also, they are selfish. We cannot go beyond ourselves. But a transformational leader, a leader like Mahatma Gandhi, or a leader like Nelson Mandela, or a leader like Sundarlal Bahuguna, or a leader like and there are so many of them. They will help you to think beyond yourself. Why? Because you are just a small fry in the overall world. When we think about others, सबका भला, तो सबके भले में अपना भला अपने आप हो जाएगा, और नहीं तो अपने भले में सबका भला नहीं होगा, और अपने भले में अपना भला भी नहीं होगा. So think beyond self interest, think beyond, like I said earlier, that the goals of an organization have to be compatible to the goals of the individual, or the goals of individual have to be compatible to the goals of organization. A leader has to know that even all individuals who join my organization, they have individual view, they have individual goals also. So if I help them fulfill the individual goals, then my organizational goals are also achieved. Supposing, for example, you are all from the teaching community. Many of you will not be PhDs, but let's say you will agree. Do you agree with me that if the number of doctorates or PhDs are more in a college, engineering college, the value of the engineering college goes up? Yes or no? अगर जितने ज्यादा डॉक्टरेट्स होंगे एक कॉलेज में, इंस्टीट्यूट में, यूनिवर्सिटी में, उतनी उस इंस्टीट्यूट की वैल्यू होगी. आप मानते हैं इस बात को? यू ऑल एग्री विद मी?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, and you will also agree with me that all the faculty who is joining, yes, all the faculty who is joining the institute, engineering college, medical college, or the university, if they want to be better, if they want to be better in teaching, if they want to be a better teacher, they know that PhD is a very very essential qualification. Yes or no? All teachers, they want to be doctorates if they are not doctorates. Yes or no?
No, sir.
They do not want to be doctorates.
So sometimes it's a compulsion, therefore they want to avail that degree, else no.
Oh,
I
no,
have
but
a very practical example. One of my colleague was there in my
okay.
previous organization, and she was very clear on her goals. Like, I just, because my job is there and it is a requirement of the job, therefore I want to be a doctorate, else I am not having any particular interest into it.
No, but
Because
do you
मेहनत
agree?
बहुत ज़्यादा करनी है.
Okay, no, but you will agree with me that one who's a doctorate, that somebody, that all of us want to be director or principals. Yes or no?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, you all want to be professors. But we also know that if we want to be reaching towards the top, then the doctorate is a ladder which will help us to reach the top. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If we want to reach at the top, at the position of associate professor, professor, director, director general, we know that if we have this degree with us, then it will be easier for us to reach the top.
Yes, sir.
So that is why,
Sir, just because of education policy and UGC guidelines, that's why PhD is necessary. I think
yes,
sir, more than 20-30% of persons who are pursuing or pursued PhD I think there is no permanent or transformation can be seen in such guys.
Okay.
Hello, sir. 1 minute.
Sanjay,
So
yes,
there is a one thing is there, professor
yes,
of practice. So
right,
those who are experienced in field of industry, now
right,
the same UGC, AICTs, they are acknowledged. So no need to an academician. Any single drop of academic experience is not there. But
right.
the person having 15 years, 20 years industry, there
Hmm.
may be a giving a honor for professor of practice. And also we have to see if top 500 colleges in all over the world, PhD is not necessary. So the quality is necessary. PhD is not necessary for the professors. What you are saying, climb to professor. 20 years I am a bank manager. 20 years he is HR manager or director, vice president. So he can be a professor of practice for in any institution. Now UGC is permitted. This is the information.
Yes, I know
Now they
that.
understand the quality, not as a quantitative. Now I in the education field, all PhDs are not a quality,
Right,
quantitative only. Thank you,
right.
sir.
No, 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 you're right. So the point I was trying to project was that, generally, if you talk to, let's say, 10 faculty members who come from the academic side, of course, now this as professor of practice has come up, but they have already played their innings. Professor of practice generally have played their innings. They are the ones who maybe got retired or who are about to retire, they would like to contribute. So their role is not a very, very high role. If you talk about like what I am presuming now, they'll also play a role, but it will be the career people like you people who joined at the age of 20, 21, 22, 3, and then you reach there till the age of 60. You will be the ones
Sir,
who will be directors,
sir,
and
for that I made example. Those who are MBA from Harvard,
hmm,
Oxford, top 500 in the world, they
right.
have exemption from this PhD. They will
Yes.
directly joined as a assistant professors. No need
Okay.
PhD, need like that.
No, but that number is very, very limited.
Sir, that's why, sir, not
Uh,
limited, sir.
yes.
The choosing
So,
the carrier,
yes,
500, sir,
very
500
good.
topmost.
No, no, I
So
agree
there
with
is a
you.
huge number can be seen today.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that if there are 10 faculty members, 8 out of 10 will like to go for a doctorate. Maybe one or two may not like to go because they know that if they have to achieve, of course, there is another way out also because they are not from Harvard or otherwise. They are people like you and me who have qualified MBA or a MTech and then come out. And if they have joined as an earlier it was lecturer, then now assistant professor, and they would like to go ahead and be a professor, associate professor, then a director, we know that if we have to be in this line, then doctorate is very much required. And as a director or a principal, I was trying to make this point. As a director or a principal, you also know that if I have number of doctorates in my institution, my name of the institution goes up. Like you go for a medical college or a medical institute, like we have PGI, or let's say we have a Fortis hospital, you will find that there are specialists in their own fields who have not only MBBS but they are MBBS, MD, and even DMs. DM in let's say ortho or cardiology or maybe in other kidney or liver. So the profile of the institution goes up if you have more qualified people. So as a leader, then what is your aim? Your aim, I am talking about transformational leadership, that my faculty wants to be a doctorate. And I also want that, I have maximum number of faculty who are doctorates. Then what I should do? I should, make both hands meet, wherein my faculty carries out a doctorate. And once they carry out, and then majorly most of them, they stick with us, and then our institute role goes up. So he shows you the importance of work. He shows you why it is important, and then he guides you and he gives you support. And he also says that you have to go beyond the self-interest. It is when it is only in your interest, then okay, that's okay. But we have to show that, let's say, taking classes may be in your interest, but doing research, he says, I do not have maybe time. But then he tells you that why social research is important. And many of the people who did social research got prizes like Nobel prizes, and they never wanted to do that kind of a research, but somebody guided them to carry out. And today, there are a number of them who got so many prizes when they are doing research. So you go beyond self interest, and then if there is a change, the leader is the one who will carry it forward, hold your hand, and then lead you out of the change, and then so that you are successful. So this is what a transformative leadership is. Or this is in a pictographic form. He encourages you, he inspires you with a shared vision. He's enabling others to act. He's always challenging you also. Like you said that, okay, I don't want to do a doctorate because it's hard. A lot of hard work needs to be put in. I've already done so much hard work, but he will give you a challenge and you start working on that. So, and he'll model your way. So generally, a leader, when we say transformative leadership, basically it is about, compatibility of your interest with the interest of the organization, making you the objectives which are common to them, so that you start working, and then he is not micromanaging you, and he is giving you a challenging assignment, and wherever you are stuck, he comes up, he supports you, he picks you up, he inspires you, encourages you. So this is the kind of leadership, and then his vision becomes your vision. Your organization is enriched, you are also enriched, and you also achieve your goals. So that is what it is. Like what Sakya Sanjeev said, that true leaders, like I asked you also, don't create more followers, they create more leaders. Because the more the number of leaders in an organization, the more the organization will grow up. That is as simple as that. So if you have all followers and the leaders sometimes go missing, there is no direction in the institute, or there is no direction in the college, or there is no direction in the organization. So you need to have more number of people who can take up the leadership role, and this can only happen if the leader encourages others to take role, and if the leader delegates things, he decentralizes things, he delegates authority, he has faith in the others, whatever they do, he stands up with them. And if you snub people, like I asked you in a meeting, who talks more? So if the leader is talking more, then he is not creating leaders. Because, and if he snubs somebody who talks, then next time that person will not talk. There is one way communication, decision making, not because you have to take wrong decisions also to now get on to the right decision. You have to take maybe small wrong decisions, so that you have to win the war. You have to lose sometimes the small battles, so that you can win the wars tomorrow. Now the characteristics of a transformation leader, like I said, innovation or creative thinking. He is therein for the new thinking. Like take the case of I'm taking the case of corporate. Take the case of Ford. Are you aware that whatever vehicles Ford, like Toyota and company, like let's take the case of how did Ford design initially? How did they design their car? So it was not the idea of Henry Ford only. He took the ideas from his workers. He took the ideas from the society. He took the ideas from the field. Even the low people, like at the shop floor level, he took the ideas from them, and this car was decided. This car was developed because at one point of time you would have seen that the cars were in a different direction, different mode, different design, and to the cars that are being made today. So today, if you go by, just take the case of Toyota, like how Innova is devised, how Innova is designed, and you will be very surprised to know that they do not stick themselves only to the employees in their minds. Rather, they go out and meet the students and the students of universities, and they found that okay, we had some ideas. So okay, they said, okay, let's move down. So they went to the students of the colleges. Also, they had few ideas. Then they said, okay, let's move down to the students of undergrad colleges. So therein also they got ideas. So then somebody suggested, okay, let's go to the student of 10th and 12th. And then people said, okay, what would 10th and 12th know about designing of a car? But okay, they took a liberal view. They said, okay, let's go. But they were very surprised to find out that the number of suggestions and the number of observations and the number of recommendations they got from the students of 10th and 12th were much higher than the suggestions, and better suggestions than what they got from the students of university, colleges, and otherwise. So then somebody said, okay, let's go a little bit lower. They went on to 7th, 8th standard. Of course, they were not sure that they'll get some ideas, but they got better ideas. Then when they went on to, class 5, class 3, class 4 students, even class 1 or 2 students, and you will be very surprised to know that they got better ideas. Wherein they get in, this is what they are open. So today, whatever cars you are seeing, you will see that many ideas have been given by a class 1 student. Where should be the light, how it should be streamlined, how high it should be, what it should be the ground clearance, how many gears it should have, whether it should have a sunroof. All many of the ideas come from students of maybe nursery, KG, class 1, class 2. So leaders should always be open to new thinking. You will be very surprised to know that there was and this is a true story. There was a gentleman in Maruti Suzuki who was at the shop floor level, a lowly worker, and Maruti came out with a scheme when there was a lot of competition that anyone with any reference, if a car is sold, he will get an incentive of, let's say, 10,000 rupees. So this gentleman was quite networked. Next time he sold maybe 5 cars. Then after 3-4 months, he was consistently selling with his reference 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. So in the end of 1 year, maybe, for example, let's say he sold around maybe 30 cars or 40 cars. And he was a prominent, and the salespersons who were in the marketing department, individually, they also had not sold 30 or 40 cars. So the general manager said, I want to meet this gentleman who has individually sold. Who is this? They said, he's the lowly worker, shop floor level. So he said, okay, let's take the case. Supposing, for example, his name was Rakesh Kumar. He said, call Rakesh Kumar. So the AGM or the assistant senior manager said, he's just on the shop floor. He's a worker, casual worker. What needs to be talked to him? He said, no, call him. I want to meet this gentleman. So he came and he says, okay, Rakesh, the general manager is calling you. So he's frightened. He said, I don't know what I've done. And he comes up. He said, Rakesh, sit. He said, what? Yes, sir. Okay, this is, you sold these number of vehicles. He says, yes, sir. He says, did I do a wrong thing? No, you did a very right thing. So how did you did it? So he said, sir, I have a network, and you were giving me incentive of 10,000. Maybe I passed on the incentive to the others. I just took 2, 3,000, 6, 7,000 I passed, and then they were able, and vehicle is good. So you'll be very surprised to know that the GM, who was a leader, a transformational leader, he said, I want this gentleman to be a part of my marketing team, and he should not be, because he's capable. But he said he does not have an MBA degree or a BBA. He's not qualified. He's not even class 10 pass out. But he says, I don't bother. When somebody who has sold 40, 50 vehicles, while even at the shop floor level, what will he do if we put him in marketing? So he was put, because of, and the private sector, they can do it. He was put into marketing team. He was groomed. He was trained. And maybe over a period of time, he became, he started, because that was his knack of doing things. And he started selling, and he rose to the position of, let's say, for example, general manager from this very lowly background. So this is what we can do. Otherwise, had it not been for the transformational leadership of a general manager, this guy would have been there in the shop floor level and doing all kind of odd jobs. So this could be done. I hope you understood. Yes.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then second is that he should have a talent for broadening the minds. That means the leader should, bring out the persons from the out of the comfort zone. They should not be doing only normal chores. Should not be doing only normal work. Rather, he should inspire the others to come out. Let's say, like, if I give you my own example, that while I was the dean director and as professor and head, whosoever has worked with me, whosoever, I have inspired him or her to do research or to go for research publication. Generally, I tell them, this is the topic, you collect data, whatever, and we start working on a case study. And then I give it a shape, and then I put his or her name, and then we get it to a publication. When we do 2 or 3 publications, this guy or a girl, he or she also becomes inspired. Over a period of time, they start working, and then individually also they do it. Similarly in projects also, similarly in consultancy also, similarly those who were not doctorates, I just inspire them to go for doctorates, if they, because I know that if you have to work in this direction, that means if you have to be into teaching, then doctorate is a must. So you have to come out. So this is one example. There are many others. We are just small fries. There are very, very big people like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and all. And there are others who, inspired people to go to where. And then third leader, as I said, that he should not be doing all the talking. He should be listening. And the nature also wants, and it is not about anyone who wants to be a leader should be a listener. And the nature also supports this. Like how does nature supports listening rather than talking? What is there in an anatomy which supports any one of you?
Sir,
Hmm?
excuse me. So we
Yes.
have got 2 ears and one
Ah.
mouth. So listen more and speak less.
Yes, so 2 ears and one tongue. So the nature says that you should be, out of 3, you should be listening 2 times and speaking only 1 time. So the nature also supports this. So wonderful, बहुत then he should have tolerance for intelligent risk. Like I just remember, this was in newspapers. There was a very loyal worker of Mr. Gotani in Adani Enterprises. He was there in the company for last so many years, and he had done good job. But lately, what happened? because he took a decision and the company lost. For example, let's say I'm a hypothetical figure I'm giving. Let's say the company lost 1 crore rupee. Now this gentleman comes to the owner, Mr. Adani, and says, "Sir, may I've lost a big amount for the company. I do not have the money to make it good. But of course, I am resigning for my post as agreeing to my responsibility, and kindly relieve me." And you know what Adani Sahab says? What do you think he should have said? And this is a true story. You would have also maybe listened or maybe read in the newspapers. Anyone? Okay, time is short, so I will say. He said, "No, I will not allow you to leave. You are not welcome to leave this organization," because he says, "You have lost my money of 1 crore and made a mistake. Now you are wiser. And whichever organization you go, you have learned with my money and you'll make them rich. So I would not like to go, I will not like you to relieve you from my organization, because if I have lost, then it is my right to be rewarded in the future with your wisdom that you've got with losing 1 crore." तो कहता है जो आपने 1 करोड़ खोया है उसको यहीं पे उसको यूज करके यहीं आप बनाओ, उसको आप जाने नहीं दूंगा आपको. So that is what he said. Then the other lead characteristic that a transformation leader is that he is willing to accept responsibility. Now what has been done, I see, because I have now put in 28 years of experience. And generally, what I see is many a times that if you are getting credits, the boss would like to take all the credits. But if you are getting criticism, it will be pushed downwards. Well, they will say that this has been done by my faculty, this has been done by my officers. I have nothing to do with it. I was not involved. So this reminds me of which a story wherein India was sending the first rocket to the space, and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was the project director, and Dr. Satish Dhawan was the director of ISRO, and everything went right. People were criticizing. Opposition was criticizing that a country like India, wherein people do not have 2 square meals a day, they're wasting resources of sending rockets to the space, wherein which will be of no use. भी खाने को मिलता नहीं और rocket भेज रहे हैं. And now they were confident. Mrs. Indira Gandhi was the prime minister. So the rocket went well, but in the last stage, it backfired and it came down. So that point of time, I think it was 80 or 100 crores, which was the amount. Now what happens? Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was in tears. And the press was hounding. So he had to address the press, and the Mrs. Indira Gandhi had called upon the project director to explain why this did not do well, because opposition, it's like killing the main party. With the opposition was killing the party, and that was the kind of negative news that came around. So when Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said, "Okay, what has been done? So let me address the press." So Dr. Satish Dhawan said, "APJ, you do not have to address the press. I'll do that." So he went on. He went to the press and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we tried and we were successful in maybe 90% of the times. Last 10% did not do well. And I am sure and very confident that given another chance, we'll be able to have it through." And the press conference ended out there. So then Dr. APJ said, "Okay, I'll brief the Prime Minister." He said, "No, you will not go. I will go." So he went to the Prime Minister. He said, "Madam, we have tried, and I, as the director of ISRO, take this responsibility. Of course, now we know where we did wrong, and we will correct it, and this will be done. But if you think that some scapegoats have to be made, so I accept the responsibility and I need to resign." So this was Dr. Satish Dhawan. But Mrs. Indira Gandhi said, "Okay, all right, no issues." After a few years, the project was successful. Again, the same team was there. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was the project director. Dr. Satish Dhawan was the director ISRO. And this time the rocket was successful. It was a successful launch. Now, Dr. APJ said, "Okay, sir, you go and address the press." So he said, "Dr. APJ, it is not my victory. You are the project director. It is your victory. It is the credit should go to you. Now you address the press." So Dr. APJ addressed the press, and then the Prime Minister wanted to see the project director. So he said, "Sir, you go." APJ said, "Sir, Dr. Dhawan, you go and brief the Prime Minister." He said, "Okay, no, this I will not go. You go, because it is your victory." So that is what a transformational leader is. That if there are brickbats or if there are criticism, he will take it for you, and if there are some positive aspects and credits, then it is, he will give it to you. So you have to understand. But in today's time, 9 out of 10 people will give you criticism, and they will not give you any floral bouquets for that. Then the transformational leader should also have trust in their followers. Like Netflix, you are all aware. In Netflix, you can have as number of vacations as possible. You can have unlimited number of vacations. No vacations are fixed. Only thing is that they say that do this work, and then whatever vacations you want to have, you have. And this has happened after after COVID also. Many organizations, they will say that okay, work from your home. There is we are bothered only about the work. We are not bothered whether you are working day in day out or 2 hours, whether you're working from Bangalore, you're working from Hyderabad, you're working from Delhi, or you're working from a village. Only thing is that we have to work. Then the transformation leader, he has the ability to inspire everybody's participation. So then you can take the case of MS Dhoni out here. How he somebody like a Joginder Sharma, he was given the last over, and how India won the 2007 Cricket World Cup, T20 World Cup, and rest is history. So again, and even Mr. Joginder Sharma has become a legend because he took the last over, and he cleaned up the Pakistan tail, the last two batsmen, and then he never allowed to make runs, and we gave it. So this is the characteristic of a transformation leader. I hope I am clear on this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is it. So John Maxwell said that leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower. Like I said, we are moving in a corridor and student comes up and we think he will wish up. No, that is not the case, or a faculty will wish up. So but on the other hand side, we would see that how we can empower the student, how we can empower other stakeholders, how we can empower the students, and then wishing is not important. The teamwork and the output and the objectives are more important, and the leaders are the one who will allow. Leaders are the one who will make you reach those goals which you want to reach, because you are a leader. मैं बहुत बार सोचा कि एक आदमी दूसरे आदमी को क्यों पूजा करने लग जाता है. Why does a person tries to worship? Why a person follows? It is not because of the leader. क्या आप क्या समझते हैं कि एक आदमी दूसरे आदमी को फॉलो क्यों करता है? एक बार बस जल्दी से इनपुट आपका लेते हैं, फिर इसको खत्म करते हैं. Then any questions from your end? Yes, please.
So because of the influence that person is exerting on the other.
Okay, no, but why there is influence? Why are we influenced by somebody? Why do we think that we are influenced by somebody? What is the reason for that influence?
So because of like-mindedness, I think, and the superior or the leader person is in a better position from that person who is following to him, and he want to be like that person. That's why he is influenced by that leader.
Uh, Also, it's like if we aspire to be the same in future, so we make the person as a role model,
Yes.
and then we start, imitating the person in our own behavior.
So we start with the leader or we start with us?
So initially with us, because until and unless we don't know that what we want, we cannot be influenced by others. So it's yes, us first, and then relating, matching the similar qualities.
Yes, true. Yes, somebody speaking. Yeah. So very rightly said, because I have less time, I will not go for more discussion here. So it starts with us and it ends with us. Let's say I follow cricket, then whether I will follow Pele or I will follow Sunil Gavaskar or I will follow Mahendra Singh Dhoni. I will not follow Pele because Pele was the god of football. I will follow Sachin Tendulkar because he is the god of cricket. So it starts with us. It starts with us and it ends with us. And why will I follow Sachin Tendulkar? Because I want to be like Sachin Tendulkar. So at the end of the day, what is leaders? I mean, this is my thought that I would like to achieve my goals with the help of a person or ecology, which is the leader. So leader, who's a leader? Leader is the staircase. Leader is the ladder. What is leader? Oh, this is a new analogy which I have created today. So leader is the ladder of achieving my goals. And if I am in football, that ladder is Pele. If I am in cricket, that ladder is Mahendra Singh Dhoni or Virat Kohli. If I'm in academics, that ladder is somebody else. That may be my principal or director. If I'm in administration, that ladder could be the chief secretary or even the chief minister. So I will follow somebody if I think that this guy is worthy. This guy is worthy of achieving my organizational goals, achieving my individual goals through the organization. Do you agree with me on this or not? आप इसको agree करते हो? That leader is the ladder of achieving your individual goals.
So there
Do
is
you
a
agree or not?
confusion.
Yes,
Hello.
please. Yes,
So
we have 5 minutes.
I have gone through the entire presentation and entire content, and I
Hmm.
think leadership is very important component for development
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
all level of society. Then why
Yes,
do we not have any particular program for leadership development at our curriculum level, at a very basic level of education? Now we have several
no, it
other
is
courses
there.
and programs, but we do not have, sir. Like
Yes,
sir, for example,
uh,
so we
yes,
discuss this topic or this content at a very late age of ourselves. There should
yes,
be a continuous
yes,
upgradation or knowledge transformation to the students who are of class 5th onwards, because we
yes,
can quote an example of Chanakya and Chandragupta here.
yes, yes,
Chanakya
yes,
has found Chandragupta in a very early stage, in a childhood,
yes,
and he
yes,
recognized, diagnosed him as a leader, future potential leader.
yes,
But he cultivated and evolved Chandragupta as a
yes,
leader. So,
right.
we know it very well that leadership very important. Then why do not we have such kind of regulations or mandates for our educational curriculum programs at lower or higher levels for
Yes,
developing such kind of leaders in our country?
yes. What's your good name? What's
Sir,
your
this
good
is
name?
Ashish Kumar Tripathi from GITM Lucknow.
Okay, Tripathi sir, very, very valid point you put in, but you'll be, I don't know whether you know, madam, when she introduced me, she said that I also had the Leadership Development Center of MGCIPA, which we have set up in collaboration with the Chandler Institute of Governance of Singapore. So we are doing
Yes,
it
sir.
for the officers of the state. We are doing it for the officers of the state, and you'll also be surprised to know that Indian Institute of Management and other some prestigious institutions like Harvard and even in
Yes.
the Stanford, Kellogg's, they have MDPs on leadership, and they have small courses also, 3 months course, 6 months course, and even
But sir,
there are courses.
people like us in India, we know the conditions. We are just producing only 15 lakhs engineers per annum in India. Having
Uh,
in comparison, we compare about, if we talk about the population, we have more than 140 crores in India, and
yes.
56% of them are youth, and
Hmm.
we just producing 15 lakhs only. 12 to
Yes.
15 lakhs engineers particularly. और जो
Yes.
आप सर बता रहे हैं, दैट इज वेरी लेस, जस्ट लाइक ऊंट के मुंह में जीरा. जो लीडरशिप या तो वो बहुत दूर है हमसे, वो कोर्स या
Yes.
प्रोग्राम, या इंडिया में वो ऊंट के मुंह में जीरा की जैसे ही है. तो
बिल्कुल
इस
ठीक है.
कंडीशन में हम कैसे बात कर सकते हैं कि लीडरशिप, अभी तो हम स्टैंडर्ड लेवल पे ही लोगों को लेके आ पाए. लीडरशिप तो उससे बहुत ऊपर की चीज है.
नहीं, बिल्कुल ठीक है, मैं
देयर
आपकी
शुड
बात
बी अ
से agree
प्रोविजन.
करता हूँ. Yes, I agree with you that even if it is there, it is at a higher level, and rather but what has happened, you just see our curriculums. We are not teaching the student what is relevant for them. We are not teaching the students just from the beginning manners. We are not teaching the student ethics. We are not teaching the student time management. We are not
Yes, sir.
teaching the students why we should
Yes.
respect the traffic laws. We
Life
are not
life
teaching.
man, life management skills basically.
हाँ,
Practically all the life management skills like leadership
we are
also.
teaching, we are teaching them algorithms, we are teaching them trigonometry, which they will never
Yes, sir.
use in their life.
And
Nine out of
we
they
never
will,
use this in future.
yes, they never use. So I think this is the failure of the system. This is the failure of the
I
curriculum.
have never
We
used
have,
chemistry. I have,
yes, yes, you're right. But what is my experience out here is that I think with NEP coming on, this new education policy, many things are covered. We are also not teaching the student. See, our BBA students, engineering students, you are saying that 15 lakh students is lesser. But I would say that out of 15 lakhs, even maybe 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs are only employable. 10 lakhs are not employable. Our curriculum is such that even if they go
Yes,
out in
sir.
the field, no
Yes, sir.
takes them.
This data is also known.
So even, we are not taking them for internship in the first semester. We are not, giving them the job in the last semester or the last year. So I think there are a lot
And
many ifs.
and so country like us is deadly required the leaders and leadership qualities, for overall development. I think so, sir.
Yes, I do
Baki sir,
agree with
rest
you.
your
I do agree with
your
you.
conclusion and your
No, no.
guidance will be with us.
Yes, I do agree with you. I agree with you fully on this count. But I am very happy that this 1.5 hour session, which I thought I'll finish in 1 hour or 75 minutes, but I think I've already finished. I've taken my time, 1.5 hours because of you people, because you were very very interactive. This is very important, I think, and I think if even I've been able to make it in your some dent in your mind that leadership is so important and it should inculcate like what you are saying at the initial level, I think it is my success and success of the NITTR in bringing about this topic. But of course, you can take my email ID
Very
and
good.
my phone number from Madam, and rather I'll put it in the chat box itself. So if you think I could be of any help, I'll be very, very glad to help on the count, wherein we do courses for the Indian administrative services officers, IAS officers, or PCS officers, and other 44 department officers of the state government, plus a
Very
few
true, sir.
departments of the
Very
government of
true.
India also. So I'll be very glad to get on this count. And if you have any other query, or ma'am is waiting for
I
maybe the
agree.
next speaker or otherwise. Yes, ma'am.